Welcome back to Straight Talk. I'm Laural Porter. Welcome once again to our guest this week, Oregon Congressman Earl Blumenauer. Let's talk about the marijuana industry. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has signaled the federal government may take a tougher stance toward states that have legalized marijuana, like Oregon, Washington, Colorado. He stressed federal law remains in effect in all 50 states. He says it is not eviscerated because a state stops enforcing the law. You and Senator Wyden this week introduced legislation to preserve state marijuana laws. Do you think with this administration, the things we're hearing from Jeff Sessions, that has any chance of passing?
Actually, I think we're in pretty good position. As I am fond of pointing out, marijuana was on the ballot in 9 states that Donald Trump was on the ballot. It actually passed in 8 of the 9 states and got more votes than Donald Trump. Donald Trump on the campaign trail said that he thought the states ought to be able to go their own way. I think that's the right approach to take. It appears as though the Justice Department is going to respect the Cole memorandum that was from the Obama administration that said basically as long as states control what's going on, they handle it reasonably, that the federal government's not going to interfere. We think that's the right path, and we're going to work to make sure that it happens.
On the budget, the Trump administration has proposed nearly $18 billion in cuts to non-defense spending in the current fiscal year, with cuts to Pell Grants, the National Institutes of Health, which would have a big impact on universities like OHSU and its research, also cuts to climate change research programs at the EPA, and a lot more. Now, this budget is just a blueprint from the White House. What happens in Congress? Where does it go next?
It's dead on arrival. I mean, even my Republican friends agree that it's insane. Cutting medical research. Mick Mulvaney is talking about Meals on Wheels not having any benefit. I mean, this one thing after another. The cuts to the EPA were so brutal that the EPA Administrator Pruitt found them too extreme. And that's saying something for a guy who made a career out of suing the EPA. Congress is not going to accept it, but it's a signal about where the priorities of this administration are, and we have to be vigilant and really fight hard so that we don't have little things here that start creeping in that undercut what the public wants.
And we're operating right now under a continuing resolution which expires at the end of April 28th, I think.
Yep.
So what happens? Do we get another continuing resolution, or will you get a budget?
Well, actually, the appropriators are working on a bipartisan basis to try and come forward with a blueprint that allows us to move forward to the end of the fiscal year, which would be September 30th. And I think the odds are pretty strong. It actually helped them that the Trump Republican health care plan blew up. People are a little shell-shocked. They want to get something done on a cooperative basis, and this is one area that they can do it, and I think the public wants it.
I mentioned at the top of the show that you've introduced something called the No Trump Act, a clever acronym for No Taxpayer Revenue Used to Monetize the Presidency Act. What would your bill do, and why do you think it's necessary?
Well, when you have somebody who paid himself millions of dollars through his own campaign with Trump Water, Trump Airplane, to have the public taxpayers paying for activities in Trump facilities, I think that's just a step too far. This legislation would make it illegal to be able to enrich the president for his vast holdings. The federal taxpayer should not be subsidizing somebody who doesn't have the good sense to separate himself. He should put his resources in a blind trust, not continue in these business activities. But if he is, taxpayer money shouldn't enrich him.
With Republicans in charge of both chambers and also the White House, under what circumstances do you think that has a chance of passing?
Well, you kind of watch what's going on. People are looking at this guy is going to cost the taxpayers, it looks like, $500 million for the rather bizarre way that he's shuttling around the country, providing protection for his extended family to pursue their business interests around the world. I think there could be some public pressure that forces people in this Congress to do something like my legislation.
We only have about a minute left, but I have a couple of things I want to ask you about. You had started a working group about the 25th Amendment to strengthen it, providing for presidential succession or removal. Why do you think that needs strengthening?
Well, there's a problem that if you had, I got looking at the 25th Amendment, that it actually would not operate if you had a president who was mentally disabled. Somebody who was delusional and paranoid would just fire the cabinet not be able to be removed, and so I have a proposal to adjust it so that it could actually work should the need arise.
We only have about 25 seconds, but I have to ask you because it's Friday afternoon. We're getting ready for the Final Four. The Ducks are in the Final Four for the first time since, I think, 1939. What's your prediction?
Ducks all the way.
What about, how do you think Gonzaga will do? We're looking at a few pictures here of the Ducks. Gonzaga is in it for the first time in a long time, too.
It's great.
I think it's the first time in school history
It's great for the Pacific Northwest, but I put my money on the Ducks. They've been an amazing team, very entertaining, lots of heart, and I think they'll come through.
Can we get a Go Ducks from you?
Quack.
Congressman, thank you for joining us here on Straight Talk. And Straight Talk airs twice a week on KGW, Saturday at 4:30 and Sundays at 6:30 p.m. just after NBC Nightly News. Thank you again to Congressman Blumenauer, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next week for Straight Talk. Thank you.